Yes, tribe. Yes, tribe. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Yes, we had a fantastic Q&A the other day, where I explained particular topics or issues or answered questions that we haven't really addressed in any of the teachings. And I did say that I'm gonna come back and do another live. Yesterday, unfortunately, I couldn't to continue with the Q&A, and I would like to do so because there's a couple of things that I want to respond to, because we're going to save this for YouTube, because it's always great to save it on YouTube, and we have tribe members go look at it later on. Buchilo, good. I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been? Good to see as family. We've grown. Like I said, we used to be a small, intimate family, and now we've grown into a tribe. We're going to grow into a clan. We're going to grow into, a huge society, a whole nation of people who are coming together to really hold space and support each other, but create a platform of learning, understanding, awakening, inspiration around African spirituality. Yes, Chieta, it's good to see you. It's always great to see, our regular tribe members. And I do know that we do have new members come in because the tribe is growing. We've reached 100 plus K followers, so the tribe is growing, and we need to be patient with new tribe members, just reminding them on a few etiquettes, like few community guidelines. When we're doing a Q&A, because we're doing a Q&A today, tribe members, we are not taking dreams. Tonight, it is not about dreams. It's question and answer session, continuing from what we did. I think it's on Monday. But tribe members, I wanted to open with this. I wanted to give thanks and gratitude for being part of this community. I wanted to say thank you so much for every time that I come in, you show me love, you show me gratitude. I wanted to thank you for those who have supported this work from the beginning, from inception. Those who know Coco Dinero when she was still at Power FM, moved from Power, to Radio 2000, to Metro FM, to online teachings. Tribe members, I want to give thanks for those who also come to the Institute, who entrust us with their spiritual well-being and their spiritual health, and they come and book consultations. Tribe members, I want to give you thanks and appreciation for the feedback that you continuously show. Tribe members, I want to give thanks and appreciation for the words of encouragement and thanks that you always share with me via DM. Tribe members, I want to give thanks and gratitude for your love. I want to give thanks and gratitude for your time. I want to give thanks and gratitude for gracing me and blessing me with your questions that inspire the wise one in me to speak. I want to give thanks and gratitude for your curiosity because it cultivates my wisdom. I want to give thanks and gratitude for always capturing words as I speak, that land in your hearts, that land in your soul, that land very well in the most profound of ways. So I want to give thanks and gratitude to tribe members who continuously quote me and tag me, because it also inspires me to continuously teach as I see the quotes that come up. I want to give thanks and gratitude for accepting me as I am, and understanding that as a spiritual teacher, I'm on the journey of learning, discovery, and understanding the same way that you are. I want to give thanks and gratitude, understanding that I am human and I'm not perfect, and I am flawed and I have my own mistakes. I want to give thanks and gratitude that sometimes I come with the highest forms of fire, and sometimes I'm water, sometimes I'm earth, sometimes I'm wind. I want to give thanks and gratitude for embracing all of me. I want to give thanks and gratitude for also taking my stories and using them to be inspiration for your own healing. I want to give thanks and gratitude for your understanding that I'm also on the healing journey. I'm also on the path of healing and becoming a better person, that as I become better, I can do better. I want to give thanks and gratitude that you always work with me in the moment, because who I was yesterday might be different to who I'm becoming or who I'm showing up as today. I just want to give thanks and gratitude for the love that's coming up right now. I want to give thanks and gratitude for the time spent with me coming through at this moment, because you could be watching something interesting, you could be in an interesting conversation, you could be using so much of your time, but you come and sit and share and commune and connect with me. So I wanna give thanks and gratitude for always embracing my vulnerability or my moments of vulnerability. It takes a lot of courage for me to share my stories. I remember years ago I used to say one day I'll tell my story, because our tribe members, we see people on socials, we see people on TV, we hear people on radio, and we put them in pedestals, and we think they just landed there, and we think their life just, they were born, miracles just happen. We do not understand the scars that they bear. We do not understand their story, and we're very quick to want to deem their glory. We're very quick to want to point fingers. We're very quick to want to make them messiahs. So when they make mistakes, we don't really become empathetic. So I want to give thanks and gratitude for your empathy tonight. So I wanted to begin with that tone of just giving thanks and gratitude to the tribe members, and then we get to the Q&As, tribe members, and I'm gonna speak to these and that which I've covered. Tribe members, please remember to subscribe and put your notifications on YouTube, because there's a lot of teachings there. So we've already spoken about Amakobongo. It's Q&A, Instagram Q&A. Instead, we've spoken about the 3 a.m. Patha time. We've spoken about quite a few things, and I am highlighting the things that I have responded to when you go onto YouTube. Maki, oh, Mam Twala, good to see you. So thank you so much. So to begin, let me demystify certain myths around certain things. One, menstruation. We have spoken about this. Some tribe members have come and have asked me over and over again. I want to speak about menstruation. I want to speak about sleep paralysis. Remind me, tribe members, of other questions that have emerged and that keep on resurfacing because we haven't saved the Instagram streams. This is a Q&A, so I'm going to save this and upload it on my YouTube channel. And we're going on to load shedding at 10, so I need to make sure that I'm done before 10 so we don't lose the content that we're going to be sharing today. So let's speak about menstruation, tribe members, because a lot of people ask Gogo, can we do particular things when I'm on my periods? Okay, or actually it's why. Why can't I, perform a particular ritual, either ogupasha, either to cleanse, either to steam, either to purge, whatever, spiritual ritual that one needs to perform because they're on their periods. And this also, I have us asking, has our culture become, or has it been oppressive towards women? Because how come that women cannot perform particular rituals when they're on their periods? If our culture and our practices are so beautiful and so inclusive and so family orientated and so community building, how come then women get discriminated against when it comes to being on their periods? Because it's been perceived as you are dirty, you are impure, etc., etc. I wanted to clarify and demystify this assumption and this myth. And I'll bring some science into it, and I'll bring some biology into it, so you could understand that our ancestors had also that intelligence when it came to them setting certain boundaries or certain rules or certain norms or certain traditions. So we understand, I'm a woman. So I'm a woman. I am born in a woman's body, and I relate in terms of my gender as a woman, right? So what I understand for myself is when I go onto my periods, my whole system just becomes messed up in a big way. We have what we call PMS, menstruation symptoms that we get. So I feel tired, I feel depleted, I feel agitable, I get mood swings, I get all sorts of things. So my level of attentiveness and presence in doing things sometimes gets compromised because my body is going through the most at the time of going through my periods. So when you go through your menstruation, what I learned in biology is that the egg is ready to be fertilized. And then because it doesn't get fertilized, fertilization for the purposes of course, making a baby, right? So then I understand that because there's no fertilization, the egg breaks, and then you have what we call your menstruation. So there's nothing dirty about it. Actually, your body every month prepares to incubate. It prepares to carry. It prepares to nurture a life in your womb. So already, whether you are able or capable of literally carrying a life till term, just being a woman, it's already something to celebrate, because your body automatically monthly prepares to do that. And I do know that sometimes people struggle with their monthly cycles. I'll speak to that, but I want to speak about in the natural state. Every month as women, we do prepare to incubate, to nurture, and to carry a life. So when there's no sperm that fertilizes the egg breaks, then we get what we get. We get what? We get our period. So if you look at this, the body's intelligence is in preparation of carrying a life. That on its own, it's a lot of work that the body has to do to get itself ready for life carrying. Then life carrying doesn't happen, then there's something that happens to the body that puts it in shock. Like, oh, okay, no life happened, so voila. Then what happens? There's a something like a loss or a death. This is metaphorical, a death that happens in the womb. So then the body has to release and release and self-cleanse itself from a loss of a life never created. So you could understand how much the body has to deal with, just the body. But because we are a system that's interconnected, so I'm a body, mind, and I'm in spirit, and some people say you are also soul, some people say you are also heart. We are many things, we are more than one things. As human beings, we are systems, we are not mechanics. So we're not a car where you put a battery, if a battery doesn't work, you just replace the battery. But in this case, as a human being, if you have an earache, everything in your body shuts down. You even lose your appetite, you can't think straight, your heart gets sore. Your ear is sore, but you hurt in your heart, right? It's the ear that's sore, but you hurt in your heart, and you would even fail to eat because you're in pain, and you can't concentrate. But it's the ear that is hurt, not the head. So to show that the human system, is interconnected, right? So when you go through the period, when you go through your menstruation cycle or the month, so a lot happens with you in all levels, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically. So when you have to perform a particular ritual, like let's talk about ukupahla. Ukupahla, just to recall, is to communicate, connect, commune, be one with our ancestors, be in a conversation with our ancestors. So if you're going through a period where your body just lost, where you have just lost something, where you did not get your period, where you didn't fall pregnant, let's make an example, let's say that, where you did not carry the life. So already you are in a state physically, it might not register at a cognitive level for you, that's why also mentally you are being distracted, and that's why you are moody, and that's why, because all these aspects of you are interconnected. So I say that when they said we cannot perform particular rituals, it was not because we were, purity was an issue, or cleanliness was an issue. It was that they understood that we needed to take time out to retreat, to regain strength, to go back and return to self. The body needed to restore itself back to its normal state of being, its states of health, before we can engage in intensive practices, including ukupahla. Including, women would also not be allowed to engage in any form of labor, because your body was already laboring to try to heal itself and return back to its state of normality, because now it did not, there was no conception that happened. Do you get that, tribe? That it's not about impurity here. It's about healing. It's about a moment given to help your body and you as the person who is in this body to return to a state of wholeness before you can engage in particular things. That's one. Number two, certain rituals that we perform, like mhlambe, you are doing a cleansing to invite the light, to invite things in, but your body is in a it's releasing, because remember, it was waiting for fertilization, which did not occur, so then it is releasing. So you do not want those two contradicting forces to work. So you rather have your body return to a state of wholeness and wellness before you can actually do any form of rituals of inviting, because you are not in a state of invitation, you are in a state of releasing, you are in a state of getting rid of, you are in a state of, or so it can be a contradicting force of energy fields. The other thing is that, yes, sometimes when people go on their periods, it gets triggered when they're about to do certain rituals that are getting rid of things. We do not work the same as practitioners. I normally say to the person who comes to do insebenzo, for example, uglahla. Uglahla is meaning getting rid of anything that is not of service to your wholeness and your well-being. So I would say, Guti, fine, we're going to do it because you're already in the state of releasing. So let's go and do the releasing, because people also are aware, meaning the people who you might needing to be getting rid of the debt which they have imposed, like ischito, like amatunza mnyama, all those things that they have sent your way. So you might need to be releasing those things. So they're well aware, right, that we don't perform particular rituals when you are on your period. So they might have done things that every time you need to seek help to be helped and realign, it triggers you going into your periods. But also stress is a contributing factor when it comes to us getting early periods or getting our periods more than once in a month. So those trigger points. So when you are in the releasing mode, I normally would say that let's continue to do it, right? And there are other things where we could do to make sure you get into it. But I think the premise of our ancestors, when they said women should not do particular rituals when they're on their periods, was because they understood that it is a lot being a woman. It is a gift being a woman. Things, proverbs like umfazi uyimbali yomhlaba, mosadi ke nkgo ya metsi. We understood that at the point of going into your menstrual cycle, there is a bit of fragility that you are holding so much already. So we needed to give you time out to retreat, reconnect, realign, rebuild, replenish your energies again before you can engage in any activities that is requiring all of you. And we need to also understand that as Africans, we understood that we cannot do things like how we do it right now. When you were participating in something, you needed to be fully present. You cannot be on a Zoom while you are WhatsApp chatting. That's not how it used to be. Presence was quite important. Being in the moment was very important in our culture, because we understood that we needed to show up as all of us. Hence, again, when you on your periods, you cannot show up as all of you, because you are going through a period of releasing. So that's yes, we're not being off the topic, we're doing Q&A, and we might actually do this whole stream on periods, because I'm unpacking. I that's the type of teacher I am. I go to the level of depths that anyone who's listening and hearing the teaching can relate, man or woman, and can say, aha. Then we can stop to demonize our cultures, because we're thinking it is it's a cultural practice that demonizes women. And I'm not saying that we do not have cultural practices that do and that exclude women, but it's because we do not understand in what way was that practice established, to whom was it supposed to serve. Because our cultural practices are about serving the collective, not the individual. And the woman is part of the collective. When she is restoring, rebuilding, and healing, she comes back into the collective wholeheartedly. She doesn't come in. We understood that we needed our mother to be whole in herself to come and cook us a nutritious meal. That's what used to happen in Mandul. So how does she show up? And cooking was hard labor. We did not have electricity. We did not have the resources that we have. There was wood to be chopped, a fire to be started. you know. It was all of those things, fire, water to be fetched. So it was labor intense. And ngapa, you are busy. You know how bad period pains are when you suffer from period pains. No, ancient Africa was not patriarchal at all. Patriarchy came with religion. The minute we made creator male, we started to see problems. Because if we were patriarchal in our culture, how come our God has no gender connotation? Because we say Mudimu, there's no gender connotation. Our names are quite gender neutral. Over time, yes, of course. We started to where instead of saying Usipo, Sipo means gift. No, Sipo, Sipo is the same thing. Sipo no Sipo is the same thing, it's gift. Ramasedi is Ramasedi, God the Father, God the Mother, therefore there is light. Spirit brings light. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to also understand that certain histories and teachings, as we know them, they're also quite colonial. Because they had to be like that to move us away from embracing that which is our own. Because by embracing that which is our own, we did not need any other cultural practices for us to have a sense of belonging. And it would have made it difficult for us to be, enslaved, to be colonized, had we really understood. Because the thing about our fall, I can say the mistake of our ancestors was not documenting, and in a way in which we understand documentation right now. So they did document, they wrote certain materials. We know that in ancient Kemetic Kemet they wrote. We understand that the Khoisans wrote a lot on stones. We do understand there has been moments of capturing these teachings, but not in the way that we would understand it at this time. Because also with everything else, what happened, our system of education is quite Western. It's classroom based. We used to teach and pass those teachings around the fire in a circle. And we understood that when the circle created infinity and continuity, but then we've lost certain things. We have to remember, we need to, unlearn to relearn certain things. So Kim, you can, if you want a booking on my Instagram page, it does say contact. There's a part where it says contact, and you can click there, or you can send me a DM after here. I'll respond. Okay, we're gonna get load shedding at 9 o'clock. So let me move on to the next one, sleep paralysis. So sleep paralysis is known as sekgateledi in Sesotho. I don't know what it is called in Nguni, unfortunately, but we get it for a variety of reasons. A lot of spiritually gifted people are prone to sleep paralysis. Reason being, sleep paralysis is when spirit is doing a visitation. So when spirit is doing a visitation, we as the physical who have not been conditioned, trained, and nurtured to work with spirit in that manner, we feel overwhelmed. The presence of spirit coming through into our physical space is overwhelming because our mental conditioning has not taught us to be a people who understand that we are spirit having a human experience and that spirit visitations would be normal. I'm trying to see because some people, I think they were saying what spirit paralysis is. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to save this. It's going to be on YouTube. It will be uploaded on YouTube. So do you understand that what sleep paralysis is? Like any other thing, it's got its own duality. So visitations from spirit, it could be from spirit of light or spirit of darkness. But because it overwhelms the body in how it shows up, we tend to be scared. Our conditioning, because sleep paralysis does not necessarily happen when you are fast asleep. You are half awake and half asleep. So part of your conscious state is with you. So when you get it, your body goes into a shock and it gets overwhelming and you don't know how to deal with the spiritual entity that has done a visitation. And then you go into fear based on what you have been taught or trained or made to believe around visitations of ancestral spirits or spirits. you know. So I used to get it a lot before I became Isangoma, and I used to pray myself out of it because I used to always believe it's evil. But now as a Sangoma, I can distinguish between spirits of light and spirit of darkness, because when spirit of light comes to me, there is a sense of I'm being overwhelmed, because the programming is really runs deep, because I had this programming of sleep paralysis is evil for the longest of time. So it does make me feel overwhelming, but I listen to not just my body, but to what am I feeling, not what am I feeling as an emotion, but what am I feeling inside. So for me, when there's a state of calmness, even though my brain is shocked with what it's seeing, I know that this is not, then I get into conversation with the spirit visiting me. And yes, when it is an evil spirit, I fight it off and I tell it where to get off. I mean, of course, I can't use it in words because we're gonna save this on YouTube. But I tell it, like, don't come here don't be nonsensical. I'm not anganga waslingani. So awuweni ntanga yami. Do you know who I am? I show up in my bravery. And when I show up in my bravery, I tend to overcome the sleep paralysis. Because it's a visitation coming to actually awaken the healer in you, awaken the power in you, because you would not know that you have the power to overcome certain things that get or come your way or attacks had you not had that visitation. It's when you know that your prayer changes, prayer heals, prayer, Patha cultivates, and it's a catalyst. You are then invited to step into your power. It's somewhat an awakening. It feels like we've gone deep in sleep paralysis today, right? It's somewhat an awakening for you, to show you how powerful you are, because it is showing you that you are more than the physical. You can engage things at a spiritual level and be able to return back into your body. Yeah, no, it's not Simnigu. It's not always bad. It's just we've been conditioned and made to believe that it is bad. It is visitation. So you rather have a conversation and say, come to me in a way in which I can understand. And remember, Pella ancestral spirits are in variety as well. Some of them don't know how to reach out to you. They're trying and desperately trying to reach out to you, because remember, as an empath, you're a sponge, you're an absorber. So they're trying to reach out to you. They don't know. So you speak and engage with it and say to them, show me what you want to show me. So I would say, show me what you want to show me. And then I would be tilted to another. So I don't get so much overwhelmed by it. So Tukulo, visitations you have after the Patla 3 a.m., it's your ancestors. But you engage with them when you Patla to say, please visit me in a way in which doesn't scare me. Please visit me in a way in which I can understand you. Please visit me in a way in which I can engage with you. So do not scare me. Like I said, there's a lot of unlearning we need to do, because certain things we experience them from our own conditioning. And from that point of conditioning, we project a lot of things. We tend to label things as evil, and not everything is evil. Everything does exist in duality. The same way when we're seeing a snake in your dream, you are calm, but when you wake up, you are worried. You're like, oh my God, who's after me? But in the dream, you were calm, because in that state of a dream, you were in your realness. You were in your realness. So I think I'm going to just save this two questions. Sleep, because it's I'm going to go off now because we're going to be load shedding. If we're not load shedding, I'll come back, okay? But because I'm studying, so I've got to study. I'm with my study buddies at 10. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I think I'll still connect via Skype, even though we have no electricity. I use data. But I'll come back if we're not load shedding, to continue taking your questions. But I wanted to cover those two things. It's gonna be uploaded on my YouTube channel. It is Goko Dino and Lanzi. If you have not subscribed, not put on the notification, please remember to like the videos as well, because it does help with the algorithms, meaning it helps with people accessing it. And this would be an easy one for the tribe members to make reference to people who are coming and asking me things that I've responded to. We can always just say, Please also share it to people whom you know that will need it. You can also tag me. Remember to do the codes, because we're still going to be celebrating the 100k lunch thing, exclusive lunch with Coco Dino, celebrating 100k followers. Thank you, beloveds. We shall see each other either later today or sometime soon. Blessings and love and light. Bye.